To this now, there's a somber mood at Ngobazana Village in Lusikisiki out in the Eastern Cape ahead of the memorial service of the 18 victims from the two families that were fatally shot last weekend. The memorial service will take place on Sunday. It's alleged that the victims were preparing for the traditional ceremony when they were ambushed by heavily armed people in the early hours of Saturday morning. The motive behind the shooting is still unknown. Let's now cross live to our reporter Lerato Fekisi, who is tracking these developments for us. Lerato, a very good afternoon to you, but I'm certain that the mood where you are is a somber one. How are things proceeding on your side?
Absolutely, Alicia. I think the word somber is perfectly describing of what's happened. I think you cannot come into Lambase, where we are right now, Lokishi called Lambase in Lusikisiki, and not feel the heaviness, the dark cloud that now covers this family. And I think, Alicia, you're so preview that you get to hear headlines that 18 people died. But it's when you come to Lambase, Lokishi, and you get to meet the faces behind that, you get to see the three children of Lungiswa Maziane, age 54, who now leaves behind 3 kids, and the youngest just being 12, where you begin to realize that the 18 people aren't just a statistic, but they're actually human beings who are living behind young kids who have to grow up now without a mom. But I'm joined this afternoon by Lindiwe Maziane, her niece, who will have a conversation too, and was telling me just how tough it has been for the family in the past week. Yesterday marked exactly a week since the tragedy, and I was speaking to her and asking her, what is the way forward? Because now she was saying to me that the Lungis, the one that passed away, was 54, was actually the breadwinner of this home. And now at the age of 38, she now has to take care of her 3 kids, Lungiswa's kids, who are now left without a mother after this catastrophe. Lungiswa uqala ngesuku nosapho ngendlela esibuhlungu kangaka. Umakazi ngobabusuku siyaba kakhulu umcimbi wenzayo usapho wafika njani phana kwenzeka ntoni emva kwako?
Umakazi phabe siyakhona bekuzi cousins zakhe zambiza sathi cela azozilalisa, waqala emsebenzini waphuma late wayakhona uba bezoya emgidi bese yomembulweni. Then ke ngoku umembulu buzoqala emini indoda lebimlalise phaya lento ba bezoqala ukukhilwe ilitye ekseni. Yilento yenzileyo bamcela baba balalise kuba zokwazi bavuka ngo5 baye kulolali bayokhila kuyo ilitye. So umakazi siye samfonela ngabo 8 asofika kulam sabuza ba ena usiyanini kuthini dekoti sasolandela emini wathini ixesha ngo10 salala ekuseni sazama ukumfonela asamfumana efonini safonela intombazana yaphaya naye asayifumana efonini sazofonelwa yenye ichomi yethu yathi masingene ku Facebook sibone into eyenzekileyo eNgobazana. Masingena efonini isinyani siyayibona into yakwaSinqina saqhuma ngolo xesha satshona khona kwaSinqina safika sekugcwele amaphoyisa no-forensic.
Sithetha mna nawe ngoba ndifika apha wathi I think ngomalume wakho utata omdala apha ekhayeni waya phaa xa efika phaa yo-identifya umakazi wakho wathi into ayibona eyamoyikisa kakhulu emxhalabisa that abantu phaa ngaphakathi iimbumbulu zazisentlokweni.
Waye wangena ubhuti wam nomalume bangena kwathiwa bangene babone bafanise bangena bafanisa bamfumana umakazi edudulwe enhloko nabanye abantu ababephanga phakathi.
Nilusapho ke ngoku nilungiselela ukusebenza ngomvulo, ngabo izilungiselelo zomngcwabo zihamba njani? Inkxaso mali kurhulumente nifumene na ukungcwaba umakazi wakho?
Into sifumene ukutya okusuka kwikhampani yakwaSandran. Safumana nemali ngange300. Ayikho enye into sike sayifumana, kodwa siyalungiselela uba ngoMonday sizokwemba.
Nilusapho lento inenzekeleyo busithi kumena nto entlekele enkulu kakhulu kenzeka apho nisuka khona, ingaba ni xa nincokola kunjani? I'm sure kululanga definitely, and also ingaba xa nincokola nizama uzicingisa uba noba kwenzeke ntoni ngobantu abangaphandle kwalento enzekileyo?
Asazi uba yintoni eyenzekileyo isukelaphi, asikabi national maphoyisa akakasazisi uba abantu khona umuntu umkhondo bafumanayo asikazinto uba kwenzeke ntoni biqaliphi. Sisamangile uba umuntu othini lo azobulala abantu abangaka abebenze intoni kuqala.
Uthe xa sincokola wathi ushiyeke ngoku nabantwana bakhe abathathu uneminyaka emi-13 nesibhozo 38 ngoku uzibona ungumama kwabantwana abathathu ingaba unalo loyiko okanye ke ndingabuza phofu uba unaloyiko oqala ufuna ukukhulisa abantwana okanye ubuhlala nabo nje ingabatshana bakho kodwa ngoku baje bangabantwana bakho?
Ndinaloyiko because andisebenzi, umuntu besebenza ibingiyena makazi lo abesiphila ngaye ngoku abantwana bashiyeke kum andisebenzi, andazi uba ndizobaphilisa ngani, especially lo una-12 years usafunda ugrade 6 uyena kakhulu ndimwekela kakhulu uba ndizomthini.
Samkula ndawo nihlala kuyo uthe indaba yokudubula ayonto intsha nangona ke inala bantu badutyulwe elilona likhulu elisuka ndawo lisuka kuyo but usithi xesheni sokunisiva abantu bedutyulwa ndawo suka kuyo.
Ayonto intsha yokudutyulwa phaya, siqhele ukuva kuba iNgobazana kudutyulwe umntu but le abantu abayi-18 siyayiqala ukuyiva isenzeke phaya iNgobazana.
Amapolisa izolo ibiyiveki lento yenzekile ngaba niziva nibathembile ngaba bazobamba abantu abenze lento okanye ke kuba ke mhlawumbi ikhesi enkulu kangaka? Do you think that ninalithemba kumapolisa uba nyani bazokwazi uba arresta abantu benze lento kwifemelini?
Sinalo ithemba ngathi ndinalo bengacela urhulumente uba amaphoyisa asesikise abancedise namanye amaphoyisa azokwazi ukukhawuleza bafumane abantu ngoba akeke siphole ezinhliziyweni singamazi umenzi bangubani. Sisafuna ukumbuza uba wenzeni le nto beyenze beyenziswa yintoni, sinomibuzo enjalo kumenzi ayenze le nto ngoba thina nabanye usihlukumezile kakhulu, especially mna undihlukumezile kakhulu ngoba nanomzi umakazi nguye bengigadile nami nisazama anomuntu esandleni endizoyibeka etafrini phambi kwabantwana.
Thank you so much. Well, that was Lindiwe Maziana. She was just first taking us through a timeline of what happened, saying that her aunt was at the house at that time preparing for a mass gathering or funeral the family was going to have. And then she was one of the ones that got shot. And alarmingly so, Alicia, she was just painting a picture for us, saying that when her family was told in the very next morning to look at Facebook of what happened, that's when they actually found out through a Facebook post. And then her uncle was sent as a representative to go to the house where the shooting took place. And he says that what really made him scared and alarmed him was that when he found his aunt, who's 54-year-old Lungiswa, she had a gunshot wound to her head, and everyone who was lying there at that time in the bloodbath right there all had gun wounds to their head, which this perhaps speaks to the intent that was done behind those that have done this really bad thing to ensure that everyone who was inside does die. She is now age 38. She has now had to be a mom, has going to be forced to be a mom to 3 of Lungiswa's daughters and kids who are now left behind. The youngest being 12. She's not working. Lungiswa, the one who has passed away, was a breadwinner, and she's saying that she hopes that justice is prevailed for the family, that the culprits are found, are brought to book for the sake of the family finding closure, because she says no amount of words or affirmation of comfort can properly help them come to terms with what has happened. And she's hoping that what will bring justice is their arrest, and saying that she's also appealing to government to assist them for the funeral preparations, and also appealing to anyone who can assist her raise these 3 kids, because she is not working, because the person who did die, who was taking care of the household, is the one now who is no more. So really sad and somber a feeling here, Alicia, a sense of real heaviness. You know, you come in here and your heart really bleeds for this family who now has to try put together the pieces, who has to raise 3 kids with no salary. And later on, we're going to be having a night vigil, what we call Mtandazo, in the specific household, where members of the clergy, community members will join here to offer their support to this family during this very difficult time. Back to you, Alicia.
Lerato, just a very quick one before I let you go. I mean, you spoke about the fact that there are children that have been orphaned. I mean, when the incident took place, we saw mayors as well as the relevant authorities from government there saying they will be, of course, lending an assisting hand. Have they arrived? What and how will they be assisting these families, besides just, of course, assisting with the funeral arrangements? And also, how far, if you've got any news, is the investigation at this stage?
Just in terms of investigation, last week the police commissioner, Masamula, had an interview with the SABC where he spoke about that so far one person has been brought in for questioning, no arrest as yet, and he came to a lead here in the village, but no arrest as yet, but one person has been brought in for questioning, and they are hoping that this person will lead them to the culprits, and the investigation obviously is still continuing. They've brought together forensic investigators, ballistic investigators, specialized police in terms of crimes and murders to come in and join part of the investigative team here. And then in terms of the social circle support, we did hear from Zukusi Solani from the Department of Social Development saying that they're going to offer counselling. They've already offered counselling to the victims, and as they meet with each family, they're going to find out what the needs are. And I'm not sure yet, as Ulungeso was saying, that no financial support has come, but I am aware that the Department of Social Development is going to be providing socio-economic support in terms of counselling to the victims, who obviously have to try and now navigate mentally such a big and heavy thing to deal with.
Thank you so much for that comprehensive report. The SABC News reporter Lerato Fegesi in Lusikisiki